What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have a Banlist prediction slash wish list video. Hopefully I can get through the rest of it without having a stroke. But this is an accumulation of both the things I want to happen on the ban list and things that I can see happening on the upcoming ban list. Obviously, it's going to be going more towards the end of August based on what Konami said, but I'm making this in July, so that's why it's kind of July/August prediction. But yeah, let's get right on into it. So first, going to the bans. I have a total of 5 cards here. I don't think all of them are going to be banned on the next list, but I think at least 2 out of these 5 will be. So the first one I'm going to talk about is World Sea Dragon Zelantis. This one is going to be as an indirect hit to Snake Eye, because, obviously they use, Promethean Princess to go into Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, then Zelantis, using the Phoenix as material, then they banish everything, bring everything back, then they use the Promethean Princess to pop something, and then the Salamangreat Raging Phoenix revives itself, gains a bunch of attack points. So I think cutting off the Snake Eyes OTK line is going to be an indirect hit to Snake Eyes. Next one, Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. This one has needed to be hit for a while, in my opinion. I think that it's just best to go ahead and hit Albion itself, because obviously being able to summon things on your opponent's field that lock them out of the game is not very healthy. And some people will say it's like, oh, just go ahead and ban the Gimmick Puppet. But if it's not Gimmick Puppet, it's Ra's Disciple. If it's not Ra's Disciple, it's like Jaugen the Spiritualist, or whatever other type of lock monster that you want to throw in. Whether it be, like a barrier statue, or DD Orthros I've even seen, if they want a Fiend Lock. So, honestly, I think Albion just needs to go. I just don't think it's healthy for the game. Next, Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. This one's currently at 1, but honestly, I think it needs to be at 0. Honestly, I think this one is probably the least likely to get hit on the upcoming list, simply because Infinite Forbidden literally releases, like, tomorrow. So, I doubt they're gonna hit Beatrice on the first list after Fiendsmith releases. I wish they would. I hope they do, but honestly, I think this is probably the least likely to get hit. The next 2 I'm going to talk about together, because these 2 are what I call the rarity babies, being Appaloosa and IP Masquerena. So, obviously, thinking back to the last ban list, we had both Borreload Savage Dragon and Baronne de Fleur be banned after getting their reprints in the Rarity Collection 1. These 2 were reprinted in Rarity Collection 2, and so a lot of players, myself included, think that these guys have a target on their backs. I don't really have any issues with either one of these 2 cards personally. I mean, I understand the arguments why people think they should be banned, but I personally don't have a problem with it. So if they stay in the game, I won't be angry, but if they leave the game, I also won't be angry. Next, let's go to the limits. So I have 3 limits here. The first 2, Snake Eye Ash, and then Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. This is just another way to tone the power of Snake Eyes down a little bit, because obviously it's going to be getting the Fiendsmith engine, so they may hit some of the Snake Eyes cards as just a slap on the wrist. Next is Sanguine Summoning. I decided to put this one on here because it's something I could see kind of happening, because Tenpai Dragon is kind of like the number 2 or 3 deck in the format, from my understanding. I'm not like a huge competitive player. I play Rogue on occasion. Like, I've gone to a couple regionals with Rogue, done pretty well, but I'm not super into the metagame, if that makes sense. But this is something I can see happening. If it doesn't happen on this list, it may happen on the next list. It's just something I can see happening in the near future. But yeah, definitely one of the two Snake Eye cards listed here, I think, are going to get hit in order to incentivize the Fiendsmith engine. Next, we're going to go for things coming off of the list. And now, before anyone starts furiously typing in the comments, because this is a big section, kind of like with the bans, if just one or two of these comes off the list, I would be extremely happy. So the first one we're going to talk about is probably the most controversial one, being Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. And I'm not like the biggest Pendulum fan out there. I mean, I like Pendulums. They're okay. You know, they can be fun to play, but I'm not like the super dedicated pen player, you know. But given everything that we have going on right now, between, you know, like Branded, Voiceless Voice, Snake Eyes, Tempai, are we really worried about Electromite? Honestly, I think the game has progressed to a point through power creep where we can actually bring this back and it won't be a problem. Same with Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. I think this one's not really going to be a problem. At just one, I doubt you can do the Pendulum FTK. So, if either one of those comes off, I would be very happy. Next is Brilliant Fusion. And I think this one can come back to one just because it's been power crept. I mean, think about it. The main fusion engine we see now is Branded. You know, and Branded Fusion is a way better card than Brilliant Fusion. So, and it's also thrustable. So, honestly, I think Brilliant Fusion can come back to one. MX Saber Invoker, it's just something I can see coming off the list due to power creep. Because it takes 2 level 3 monsters to make. Then you have to detach a material and special summon an Earth Warrior or Beast Warrior from your deck. So that's already 4 summons in a turn. To make the MX Saber Invoker takes 3 summons. And then the summon with its effect is 4. What kind of negate are you going to make in under 4 summons? You know, like, honestly, I think it could come back and not be a problem. Although I would say MX Saber Invoker is probably the least likely of these to come back. But I think it would be kind of cool to see it come back. The next two I'm going to talk about together, Summon Sorceress and Perform Age Plushfire. Both of these received erratas in the OCG, and I think the TCG may follow suit. The last one is a personal wish of mine, Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow. In my opinion, it should not have been banned in the first place. Okay, it did not even get to do all that much before it got banned. So I think it can get brought back. All right, next going to the semi-limits. First one is Kieran because, you know, Pendulum's not really doing anything. And I think most Magispector decks probably don't play more than one Kieran anyway, so having it at 2 would be harmless. I also have Thunder Dragon Colossus on here. This one is strictly following the OCG, because they recently put Colossus to 3, I believe, on their most recent list, if I remember correctly. So I think having it at 2 may be something we might see Konami do. Next up is the Dragon Rulers and Chicken Game, because they don't really do anything. And finally, for the unlimited section, we got Armageddon Knight, Pankratops, and Lightning Storm. So Armageddon Knight, I think it's just been power crept. It's a normal summon that dumps a dark monster. It's Ash, Imperm, and Valor Bait. Pankratops, if we have 3 Fenrir, we can have 3 Pankratops. And then finally, Lightning Storm. I think Lightning Storm can come back because, again, with all the things that's coming out with like the craziness of the Fiendsmith engine, like which one is the one that negates? Is it Desiree? That can literally negate this. So, and it's only a side deck card. Most people don't main this. I mean, maybe Tempai Dragon would main it, but even then, they can OTK without Lightning Storm anyway. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. What would you like to see get hit or come off the list? And I'll see you next time.